Hey everyone, how are you doing? You know what? I just have to say before we start the show, I have the best conversations with my guests backstage. But enough about that, you guys. I want to talk to you about branding. Nike, Tiffany's, the Boyer Bakery. What do they all have in common? A great brand. Okay, so maybe you don't know who the Boyer Bakery is, but if you live here in Surprise, Arizona, you know who the Boyer Bakery is. It's like the rumor mill. If they've got like a maple scone coming out, there is a line out the door. So what do all of these companies and organizations have in common? A great brand. Branding is what really sets you apart from the competition. It doesn't matter if you sell the same widgets, the same service, the same products, and the same, whatever you're selling. It really does help set you apart from your competition. It's how people remember you and your business, your products, and your services. And it's critical for both large businesses, small businesses, and career professionals. I'm really into personal branding. It took me a while to really understand it, but my guest, Lauren, is going to be coming up here in just a moment, and she knows branding inside, outside, and backwards. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Fain Brandt, the host of this show, 15 Minutes of Fame. I'm the Fain here. Once a month, I have an amazing guest on the show, to shed some light on some topics that you need to know about. So I've got a question for you today. What future topics do you want to learn more about? And do you have a guest that you'd like me to have on the show to interview and have a conversation about those topics? Drop that info in the comments or message me if you'd like. Today, like I said, we're talking about branding inside and out. And my guest is Lauren V. Davis. And the V is very important, she said. And I'll let her tell you why that is so important. Lauren is the founder of Lauren Davis Creative, a marketing and branding consultancy that helps entrepreneurs have a greater impact with their stories. Now, I know she's going to come on and tell you how she does that. But I have to say that when we were in San Diego, we'd met at Social Media Marketing World. She came to the brunch that I host, and she came last year too. So now we've kind of got this brunch thing going on. And I was on my phone saying, oh, I need to do this story. And just a random story here. She helped me do this little Instagram story and showed me tips and tricks of how to do that like that. It was amazing. Before we bring Lauren up, I just want to give a shout out to StreamYard, who is the official sponsor of 15 Minutes of Fame. They make going live as easy as hitting an easy button. You literally just hit go live, and when you're done, you hit the end broadcast button. You can have up to 10 people in the green room. I only have Lauren there today, but I have used it for a summit and it works really well. I'm going to drop links to everything I mentioned in the comments after the show. But right now, let's get Lauren up on stage and let's get this party started talking about branding. Hey, Lauren.
Hi, how are you?
I am fabulous. I have to say that I really liked our pre-show conversation.
Yes.
Some of those are like some of my favorite is when I'm talking to everyone excuse me, before the show.
Yeah, we definitely went
Ooh,
we went pretty deep, pretty fast, and then we were like, oh crap, we gotta go live. We gotta go live now. Okay.
I know. So Lauren, I know that you travel a lot and you work with some really big brands, big names. I mean, one of the people you work for is Andy Storch. I actually have a signed copy of his book.
Yeah.
He's pretty amazing. But why don't you just tell the audience who have you worked with in the past?
Yeah, I really love working with speakers. And I love working with people who are building their personal brands. So when we work together, we really work on how people are engaging from the stage, how they are connecting with their audience from the stage. Um, a lot of times when speakers walk off stage, they ask themselves, "Hey, I don't know. I know I connected. I know that the audience was laughing at me or like laughing at my jokes or connecting with certain things, but I don't really know if they know how to find me after I get off. Like, besides if they remember my name and look me up on social media." So, what we really do is work on how people engage and how they stay memorable, which overall leads them to make more money, build better relationships with people, and I just love working with speakers, but I also love working with people who are building their personal brands in general. So that goes from everywhere from corporate companies, the CEOs, the people working within those companies, to people who own their own businesses, to the people who are kind of like the all person who's doing it all and speaking, building a business from their desk, and doing all of the above.
Well, I love that you work with speakers because you touched on a point there, is that you might be a great speaker, you might have great content, bring a lot of value to the audience, but are you making sales? Are
Right.
you selling from the stage or after the stage or even before, right?
And some people say, I don't want to sell from stage. I don't want to be salesy from stage. And that's not really what we're talking about here. We're kind of talking about how you form those deeply important and impactful relationships with people from the stage, because you have delivered them the type of value that they absolutely needed in that moment, and how you open up a relationship with them from that moment forward and nurture that relationship and actually give a crap about them being in your life. That's what I
Right.
want to see. I want to see us building more stronger relationships with our customers, with our clients. I want them to become friends. I want people to have all of that like really good feeling stuff all the way around. And
I
so
love that.
I've come up with, and something we're going to talk about today, are 5 essentials that I know you have to have in order to have a deeply memorable personal brand. And I know you and I are going to kind of walk through some of those today in our
Yeah.
short amount of time, right?
I'm excited to go over these because, I work with career professionals and the entrepreneurs, and I'm working with a woman right now who's in real estate, and she works for a large company, right? But I said, we need to build your brand,
Yeah.
because you're not always going to work for that company. And looking at her experience, like, that was very relevant, right?
Right.
In real
Right.
estate, in any market these days, you bounce around. Like,
Right.
there's no more staying for the same company for 10 or 20 years. Those days
No.
are gone. So you need to build your personal brand because it's part of your reputation. It's what you will be remembered for,
Yeah.
right? How people will, if someone says, oh, I need someone who is like a whiz at spreadsheets, or like they've mastered ClickUp, they're a project manager, right? Project
Yeah.
management whiz. If you've built your brand and you've defined it, built it, and shared it there, and people can go, oh, they'll just pull your name out of their head when someone asks for something
Yes.
or talks about a problem they have. They might not even ask for a solution. They might just be talking about an issue, a problem, an idea, and someone else could be like, I got just the person you need to talk to.
Absolutely. And the person that you mentioned at the beginning, Andy, he's a great friend of mine. He's been a client of mine. We've worked together on multiple projects, but he's one of those people that is just like amazing example of someone building a personal brand, and those little deep seeds of like planting seeds, not, sometimes when I hear those buzzwords, like those buzz phrases like plant a seed or something, I feel a little bit like I'm like it's magic or something like that. That's not the case, but he's one of the best people at kind of, you know, having those long-term communication and relationships with people. And that's kind of what I'm going to share with you today. So the first thing that every personal brand, there's 5 questions, first of all, that every
Okay.
person who is
5.
building a personal brand that I want them to ask themselves. Okay. And the first one is, will people find you? So if you're asking someone, um, what, like who they are, who they want to show up as, and you can't find them, then you have a real problem, right? So like if you're thinking of yourself, and you're thinking of yourself in one keyword that people might think of you with, what would be the keyword?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens when people search your name in LinkedIn? Because if they meet you at a brunch at Social Media
Right.
Marketing World and all they know is your name and what
Right.
they can associate you with really quickly, what are they going to do next? What do you think they'll
They're
do?
gonna Google me. I mean,
They're
if
going to
you
Google you. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
and luckily my brand is my name. And
yep,
so if they, I come up everywhere on Google because I
exactly.
kept Fain as my middle name. So, and they can find me on LinkedIn. And then I have a lot of branding there. I have videos, I
Yeah.
have content. I feel like I've done a decent job building my brand, but it took some time to get there. It didn't happen overnight.
Exactly. Yes. So, will people find you? That's the first question you need to ask. And there are
Check.
multiple ways that people will find you, but you notice I asked you those questions. Like, what would people associate you with and where would they go first? And that sometimes is different for different people, right?
Yeah.
Generally, the biggest one people would say is Google. Like if I met someone at a networking event or I met them online and I was like, I only know their name, the first place I would probably go is Google. Or
Is that why the V is important for you?
It is.
Because Lauren Davis,
Yes.
if I used Mary Brandt, there'd be a lot of those, but
Yep.
I use Mary Fain Brandt. I'm the only one.
That's a great tie-in. Yeah, the V stands for my maiden name, Vonnegs, which it was impossible for people to say or spell. So I left it in there because there's another Lauren Davis out there who's also blonde, who is an Olympic tennis player. I am not an Olympic tennis player, but she has the same birthday as me. Like there's too many similarities. So I wanted to make sure that I was differentiating myself from that Lauren Davis. So I put a V in the middle. And whenever I am on an interview or a podcast, I make sure I say that V is important. Please say Lauren V. Davis. And
it does help you stand out with having that
absolutely.
V. And I just want to point out, because I recently changed my website because of something that you just said. Your maiden name was hard to say. People couldn't spell it. So I was told and this is something for everyone doing your branding, your website, whatever, maryfainbrandt.com. Not everyone knows how to spell Fain, right? It could be Fane. I always say Fain rhymes with pain. But when you're on the radio or TV or a podcast or whatever, if I say maryfainbrandt.com, that's long. People don't know how to spell it. So I actually bought Master It with Mary.
Oh, wow. That's really fun. Yeah. So now you're going to lean into that?
Yeah. So I'm going to lean into that. So Master It with Mary, because when I say that, you can remember that and you know how to spell it.
Yep. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That's really cool. Yeah. Perfectly ties in there. And it might take some time for you to build that into people's, brains, but also it's helpful because it's something that they can probably remember when you start sharing it, and especially the way that you share things. You're very vibrant and like a magnet. And so people definitely listen to your taglines. The second question I want people to ask themselves is, how will they experience you once they get there? So that means, how will they, what kind of stories will your bio tell about you? What are your pictures going to tell about you?
So is that like the vibe? Is that the vibe? Like, how am I going to feel when I read something about you? Am I going to feel strategic? Am I going to feel sad, happy, joyful, energetic, curious?
Even as simple as, if you are associated with LinkedIn, when I go to your profile, am I going to see something about LinkedIn on there? Or if you are trying to be known as a speaker, if I go to your profiles, or if I click on one of those links I find you at, am I going to go there and know that you are a speaker? When I get there, how am I going to experience you?
You're going to experience me in the featured section, because I have all of that, girlfriend. I have me speaking. I have client testimonials. I have my TV show that I was on. Yes.
That's awesome. Okay. So the next question is, how will you continue your relationship with them once you're there?
Ooh. So, you mean I can't just say thanks for coming and hope that they keep following me?
Right. Exactly. So that means, what kind of content are you creating? How are you keeping people around? What are you doing that delivers the exact value that you need to deliver to them to meet them where they are? How are people continuing that relationship with you? And how will you continue it? How will you continue to nurture them? Will you be emailing them? Will you have blog posts? Will you have Instagram content? Are you creating TikToks? All of these things. And I'm not saying you have to do them all either.
Right.
I'm asking you, how are you going to do it?
So, using me as an example, I have LinkedIn and lattes, because I'm all about coffee. That's part of my branding. So tips on Tuesday. I do the Instagram, but I don't do TikTok, and I've chosen not to. And I just want to make sure that everyone watching understands, you don't have to be on every platform. You have to be on the platforms where your clients are and where you're going to engage. Right? Because it doesn't do any good if you're putting out content and you never go to see if anyone commented or has a question.
Absolutely. Go to the place, start with the place that makes social media fun for you. And then from there move, like, also incorporate the place where your clients are definitely showing up, where your current clients are there. And at least do those two, master those two. Because if you can make social media fun for you, and you can make social media a place where you want to open your phone or you want to open your laptop and like get on social media and answer comments and engage, then you'll have far greater chances of sticking to whatever routine you build for yourself.
I agree.
Fourth question is, do you have a simple operating system? So what I mean by that is, if a lot of times people are building this personal brand and someone's like, okay, cool, you're a coach. I want to be your student. I want to coach with you. And they don't have their contract set up. They don't have proposals. They don't have a way to be paid. They don't have a way to be booked for a meeting. All of those things are your simple operating system. Now, sometimes an operating system could just mean, like, do you have a system for creating content? I want you to think of this as like a very loose, kind of broad statement here, but I want people to think of what are the systems that you have in place in order to keep your business going when you're not making personal brand content. Because the idea is to get paid. The idea is to get customers. So what is the system behind that? And that would be the fourth question.
I love that. And I think that's really important. So I use Book Like a Boss.
Okay.
And I have my pricing out there.
Yeah.
And just on Friday, someone booked a VIP day with me.
That's awesome.
Because it's all laid out. So they scheduled their time, they paid. That triggers them getting a contract from me. And I actually include how I work. It's a document, a one-page Google Doc that tells them about my hours, what the turnaround is, just how I work, because I don't want people to expect for me to be on call for them.
Right. Yeah. You have to give them expectations,
boundaries.
And that's your operating system. And that's perfect. Yeah. That's a perfect example. So, like, giving customers expectations of what it's like to work with you, and the expectations that you have for them as well. That's all part of a system. And the biggest part of that is just, I want people to know that they are able to, like, this is how you might be able to get paid. This is how you might be able to run a business.
4 great things.
Have those are the main things. Yeah. The fifth one, the final one in the circle, is, how do you want people to refer you? So once they're done working with you, or once they have a great interaction with you, or we're done with breakfast, we're done with brunch at Social Media Marketing World, when you want to refer me to someone, I need to be very explicit about the way that I want to be referred, or who I want to be referred to, what kinds of customers I want to be referred to. So whenever someone says, what do you do? I first start by talking about my customers. I say, well, my customers are people who X, Y, Z. And I do that because I want you to have in your mind, next time you meet someone who fits that bill, to have in your mind that this is exactly the person that Lauren works with. And I know now that I can refer this person to Lauren. Now, I don't think, like, what I haven't done is, I haven't been like, oh, you should refer me through email or connect me in an email with this person. But I think that you and I are connected in so many different places at this point that it would be,
I can find you.
Yes.
But I really like that. I just want to review that. So for anyone who's watching the replay, because I think most people start with, I'm a career coach and LinkedIn trainer. Versus, you know what? I love working with women that are 45 to 55, looking to actually find a meaningful and purposeful career now.
Yes, exactly.
That's very different from saying I'm a career coach.
Yes, it is. It is so different. Yep. And I feel like for me, it made me feel a lot more comfortable to put the customer first, to share like who it was, because it also helps me put into better words who I work with, based on truth, based on people I'm already working with. So if you're first starting out and you don't have any clients yet, you can talk about the people that you've helped along the way anyways. But at least for this case especially, it's nice to be able to share who I've worked with and how I work with them.
I
So
love that. These are such actionable tips.
thank
Like,
you.
this isn't like, oh my gosh, I've got to go hire someone to do all this. These are actual branding tips that you can start working on, you guys, like right now, today. But Lauren, let's say we've done all that, but we're ready to elevate our brand because we
Yes.
both do branding, but we also both work with different clients. And
Yeah.
there's enough business for everyone in the world. I truly believe in collaboration over competition.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
so I want people to understand like who you work with, how do they find you? Like I know that you're on Instagram. Like
Mhm.
that's more your playground where LinkedIn, if someone wants to reach me, you guys got to go to LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram probably the most. That's where I spend the most time. You can absolutely find me there. You can find me pretty much everywhere as L Davis Creative. And like you, I also have I have a promo on like a promo right now inside my Instagram, inside the link where you can just book a one-time coaching call with me. So like no contract, it's just an hour and
Nice.
a half. Yeah, just let's just do it, get to know each other. And I did that because I just want to get to know some new people and I want to help some new people. I want to hear some new challenges and like help some people through new things so I can keep learning as well. So I do have a promo open right now. And I also will share something with you. It's 100 free, 100 high quality social media. Oh my God, 100 high quality personal branding prompts for social media.
Oh, I
So
love that. So
yeah,
you can drop that in the comments
yeah,
and
I will.
people can grab that. I just want to say thank you for your time. I know you're always traveling. You've got a lot going on between travel and clients and conferences.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time today. You guys, I just want to a shout out to Lauren that she is an amazing human being. She's fun to hang out with. She knows her shit inside and out. Can I say
Thank
that if I'm streaming? I feel like it's my show. I can say
you. You can say whatever you want. Yeah.
that.
That's
So thank you so much. And just real quick, you guys, as we start to wrap up, if you're local to Arizona, LinkedIn Local Phoenix is happening May 23rd. It's our summer soiree. So get out your aloha and flower, like luau style stuff. We're having like a prize for the best dressed guy and gal. And
Oh
this
wow.
networking event is super fun, Lauren. If you're ever here in Phoenix when we're having one, I call it the no business card event because
Okay.
we're like, no business cards. You're coming to have conversations and to
Yeah.
meet amazing human beings. And business naturally happens. Like we had someone walk out with a $10,000 contract
Wow.
because they had met this person, they came, they met them again at my event. So business happens, but we're there to network and to learn from each other. And so we have some fun prizes. We're kicking off the summer with our summer soiree, and then we don't come back together until October. Oh, there's Jen. Jen Drago is watching. She's helping with LinkedIn Local Phoenix in
Oh,
May.
awesome. Very cool.
Super excited. So we limit it to 50 people. So you guys, we have got like I think 20 tickets left. So I'm gonna drop links to everything afterwards. And then I'm all booked for this month, but I have 2 VIP days for June. So if you're looking to go from boring to badass on LinkedIn, looking to, you know, have a career pivot, let's talk. It starts with a conversation to make sure this is a good fit because I'm all about making sure I'm the right person to work with you as well.
Absolutely.
So, you guys, I'm Mary Fain Brandt. This is my guest, Lauren V. Davis, creative. Lauren V. This way, wait, this way. I had it
Yeah,
right.
you're
Lauren
right. You're
V.
right. Yeah.
And this is 15 Minutes of Fame. You can find me here about twice a month these days. The next one will be going over LinkedIn features because LinkedIn is dosing out new features faster than chocolate chip cookies disappear in my house. So I'm going to review 5 new features next week. So I'll see you then. Take care.
Bye.